Hi everyone, here a quick overview of Seneca-based hackathons past and future, and we're going to spend more time on the future than on the past, but still. So during the COVID pandemic, we had two hackathons that we did through the school, and they were both virtual format. And in the future, looking to March next year, the third hackathon is planned. I want to let you know a little bit more information. Um, Past couple hackathons, the first one that we did, so immediately when the pandemic hit, is we had a hackathon themed around business response. So with the businesses and everyone struggling after the pandemic hit, we realized that information technology really provided an answer to many of the problems that businesses were experiencing, and it had to do with things like just sort of simple apps that could help local establishments design curbside pickup, things like that. It had to do a lot with a lot of interest and traction with tracking COVID virus, etc. We followed that up. It was great. We had over 400 people that registered. I think we laid the groundwork for the kinds of hackathons that we're doing now. It was really a great experience. We had lots of partners that were instrumental. One of the biggest sort of success points from that hackathon was being able to establish applied research projects that came out of it that were funded, that led to things that worked their way into industry. The next hackathon after that was even bigger. We themed it after digital health. Over 600 students registered in this with, again, a stellar list of partners that worked with us, including big names, Salesforce, Microsoft, CAMH, etc. The digital health hackathon here, it eventually boiled down to 8 different challenge sets. That this was the things that the students can sink their teeth into, and it takes a lot of work to develop these challenge sets. We have to work very closely with our sponsors so that students can grasp what kind of stakeholders are involved, what problems that these stakeholders encounter, and how on earth and what on earth they could possibly do to help. And it sort of turns the lights turn on with the students, and then the innovation starts. Sponsors that we had helped organize these challenge sets, and were ultimately responsible for identifying what kind of prizing there was for people that went into that challenge set. So some of the sponsors might have offered internships, some of them might have offered support to help commercialize the project, etc. And some were just simply cash prizes. Quite a large organizing committee, 35 organizers that were involved. It's a pretty big effort. We issued exactly 3 different micro credentials. So as a participant, as a winner, and as an organizer. And so there were something like 300 of those issued. And again, a great turnout, over 100 submissions that went in. And the second point there is it wasn't just Seneca students, and it wasn't just computer students. It was over 50 different programs by 15 different universities and colleges that were involved in this. We don't want to overdo it with the cash prizes, but there's still nice little checks that came to the winners, etc. The one before that was the Business Response Hackathon, where this really laid the groundwork for how to do the virtual hackathons and what to do with the winners. And we had exceptional performances by students, exceptional sponsors like Roche that worked with us on that, and the winning team that was accepted into Venture Lab to help commercialize their offering. So it turned out that the reason why the partners loved the hackathons is because it gave them, such a skills shortage, all the different companies are hunting for talent, and when it comes to solving problems, IT type talent, business analysis talent, etc. And the number one reason that they loved working with us is the ability to spot talent that might potentially fit in their company very well. Another big reason why companies wanted to do these hackathons with us was because it gave them an opportunity to innovate. It gave them an opportunity to incubate innovation that otherwise in their everyday operational environment was just sort of like a dream, or just couldn't happen because everyone was just too busy. So the idea to experiment and innovate and try things out and say, could artificial intelligence, could machine learning, could IoT, could an agile approach actually be used to solve some of our everyday problems? Another thing that they found very useful is to use the outcome of these to actually go down a path with applied research and submit to NSERC or OCE for potential grants and funding. So this time that the hackathon is themed along the lines of sustainability, which is a broad topic. So there's another level after that, what the specific sustainability themes are. And what we're going to do a little bit different is we're going to partner with SOCIP, so the Southern Ontario Supercomputing Group, to partner along with them, and also the institutions that they work with, such as U of T, Lambton College, St. Clair College, to jointly do this hackathon and attract a bigger group of students, even bigger than the 600 we had before, and also a bigger group of sponsors. So we really want to reach out, expand our network with this one. We continued the momentum of the past hackathons we had, where we really learned that the notions of being inclusive to inclusiveness to us really means also that these kinds of things, these winning combinations, do not consist of 4 computer programming graduates, but rather you need to have a very diverse set of skills on your team to really have a good solution. Sure, some of the entries might have had some software that's involved, and yes, maybe the team needed a good developer of some sort, but the best and the winningest teams had a combination of skills that were involved from diverse different programs, typically somebody with a strong business background that had a keen interest in the subject matter and was able to analyze the business issues that were involved and design problems. Typically somebody with very good project management, communication skills that could lead the team. Typically somebody that had a good idea of design or user interface or user experience to whatever the users were going to do or how to get them engaged. So there could be, psychological understanding, psychology, sociology, all these things are important. And then yes, it does help. Sometimes you have a software solution that you want to have or a hardware solution. So maybe you have somebody that knows how to do coding, but you also need somebody that knows how to work with data, organizing data, whether it's something that winds up in a relational database or not. So we found these, the themes here of inclusiveness, not just Seneca students, but Seneca students, their friends from other schools, colleges, making it fun, making it competitive. These were all really big goals that we want to continue and even grow. At the end of all this comes innovation that really can be harvested by anyone, experiential learning that is second to none for the students that are involved. So instead of boring old textbooks in classrooms and multiple choice questions and fake case studies, like to have it all boiled down into have these hackathons become microcosms of what happens in the real world. Students anxious to demonstrate their problem solving skills, have meaningful things that can go on their resumes, and practice things that you're taught, especially analysis, design, problem solving, project management, communications, leadership, these kinds of things. Here roughly the timeline, these are just rough things, but the hackathon will happen in 2022. It will go through specific phases. So the first phase is really where we look for people to register. So there'll be a registration site. And then when they register, the idea usually is to make sure people know that it's inclusive. So you don't have to be a senior, you don't have to be a programmer, that we're inclusive to any kind of interest that you have, any kind of passion you may carry, any kind of background. It's all good. But then it's the formation of the team. So to have teams that are balanced out in terms of the resources on them, etc. So that's sort of the initial effort here. Then once the teams sort of get together, the idea of choosing a challenge set that you can sink your teeth into a specific problem domain and start to form or start to create ideas of what we might want to do in this hackathon that could be a solution. So to brainstorm a little bit with your teammates and to come up with a project plan. Then when the actual event happens in the break week, starting in the at the beginning of March really, the idea is that it'll be in two sections. One is a qualifier. So we might have a large number of students, and then just like what qualifier means, if you think of The Voice or American Idol or one of these things, like the first thing is you qualify for the finals, so it's kind of like a yes/no, and the decisions about whether you qualify or not are going to be done by challenge set, and the judges are going to be the sponsors that we have that help to support this challenge set. And then those that do qualify go into the finale, which is then the hackathon event, where it's really intense, really fun, and you have the opportunity to work on your demonstration, your pitch, whatever you have, and presenting to the judges again, have the judges adjudicate it and award the prizes. So all those kinds of things, whether this is in person or whether this is this part here is going to be virtual. Qualifier is virtual. Whether this part is, that's really going to depend on the situation at the time. So we can go either way. And then finally, the idea is you're not done because people clapped and you got an award. What we want to do next is we want to take the best ideas and see if they can be commercialized. And so to see that, what we're going to do here is give the winners an opportunity to showcase their solutions to a group of angel investors, venture capital, Bay Street investors, etc. So we'll be assembling almost like maybe better than a Shark Tank type of opportunity for those to really figure out how we can bring these things to the market. Themes of the hackathon. All right, so sustainability is a broad theme. Break it down. Environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, societal sustainability. Have to have really captures the students' imagination so that they link up to the cause here. That's how sustainability is divided into those three. Yeah, you can do combination plays as well. And then a second sort of theme here is the corporate social responsibility. This is, in the future we want to do all these things so we're better stewards of our planet and this kind of thing. But also there's a notion that we have to be able to measure. And so the corporate social responsibility is more about measuring what our impact is on these sustainable areas and what we can do. It's a measurement place so that we can improve it in the future. And those things are linked to things like Global Reporting Initiative and SASB. So having corporations and company take responsibility not just for their accounting of money, but also for their accounting for their impact on the environment, their impact on the economy, and the impact on society at large, at micro and macro level. So this is kind of what it's about, and that will be how the hackathon will be divided apart and the challenge sets created. So of course, one of the big things that we want to do between now and the end of the year is identify folks that want to sponsor, that want to help work with us. There's many different things that the sponsors do, but the most important is to help us work on identifying what these specific challenge sets are that the students can sink their teeth into. To get an idea of challenge sets, of course, it's a good idea is to go to past hackathons that we've done and others have done and just look at them. So happy to share information there. Our organizing committee, by the time we get to next year, the organizing committee will be very, very large. But to start the hackathon out, the idea is that we have an advisory board that helps to provide guidance to us, consisting of dean and chair from the school, but also outside advisors from SOCIP and also from the investor network. I'll act as the chair, and then we have we've divided up the work with really focus on like the operations that we have to do, the IT systems that will need to be created to support this, the focus on the students being engaged and successful, the focus on the partners really having a great experience with us and being able to get reap some of the benefits that we advertise. So it's really fun for the partners. We have marketing initiative, but also one of the things we're doing with this hackathon is reaching out more and collaborating with other schools. So for instance, we have plans to partner with schools in Thailand and Colombia and Germany, and also with colleges and university in Canada. So it really promises to be a big, inclusive, fun, diverse event with some really meaningful topics that were challenging, that are challenging, and that will be rewarding for everybody, the sponsors and the students to work on. So right now, as we're just building this thing up, the most important thing is if you're really keen on being part of our organization, let me or let us know. We'll find, we'll find spots for you here. This organization will probably grow to be about 100 or so volunteers to run this thing. If you're interested as a sponsor to figure out a challenge set or a way for you to fit in, come and talk to us, right? See us, and we'll sit down with you and we'll work something out that's in both interest. Thanks. Yeah, here's some of this, some of the links that may be useful. And if you want, a copy of all these links, just shoot me a mail or something. Take care.